Hi everyone, welcome to the How to Apply for a UK Visa webinar. My name is Semra Yalçındoğan. I am the Education Manager at the British Council, working here for 17 years. I'm joined by our distinguished speaker, Alper Akçeşme, Account Manager from UK Visas and Immigration Office. Before starting the presentation, I would like to give you a bit of information about the British Council. We are the United Kingdom's international organization for cultural relations and education opportunities. We work with over 100 countries in the fields of arts and culture, English language, education, and civil society. We deliver our work in line with our global policy of equal opportunity and welcome people from all sections of the communities. Our key role is to support you with your UK education journey by providing most up-to-date and accurate information on studying and living in the UK. Let me share some housekeeping notes for today's webinar. This webinar is open to all students and parents. The webinar will be in English, as we will be joined by other colleagues from the UK VI department. And we are unable to offer any translation during the live event. The webinar will last for 1 hour. We'll record this webinar and share it widely through our channels. Our speakers will be happy to answer your questions. Please write them in the Q&A section of this platform. We'll do the questions at the end. This week, we are organizing 7 webinars, including this one. The others, shortly to mention, or briefly to mention, are engineering, law, arts and design, computer science, business, and futures of the jobs of the future. Most of the webinars are focusing on potential undergraduate students. Today's webinar with this visa webinar and jobs of the future are open to any students interested in studying in the UK. A reminder, final reminder, if you are interested in similar activities, please make sure that you follow us on our British Council social media channels. Now I would like to hand over to Alper from UK Visas and Immigration Office to talk about UK study visas. In the meantime, if you do have any questions related to IELTS UK VI exam, we have a colleague from exams department who will answer your questions. Alper, over to you. I'll put you on the screen now.
Okay, thank you, Semra. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Alper. I'm the Customer Account Manager in UK Visas and Immigration. I prepared a short presentation to give you some background information regarding the student visa and the current services that we're offering. And I'll go through each slide, and my colleague Zeynep is online as well. She'll be posting some links relevant to the slides that I'll be presenting. So please do visit them, and hopefully you'll find it useful. Okay, so I'm just going to share my presentation now.
I see the presentation now. It's coming.
Can you see the front slide?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
We've also got one of our entry clearance officers online as well, who will be here to assist us with questions. By the way, I can't see the chat box, so if you can let me know if there's a question, please stop me and then I'll stop to answer the question because I can't see it on my screen.
That's okay.
Okay, so let's start. So like I said, I'll be going through the student visas, just give you some brief guidance regarding the routes and the services that we're currently offering. Okay, so here, just to give you some brief information regarding the application process. Our application process, so you fill out the application online through gov.uk. And depending on what type of application you are doing and what type of student category you're applying for, you'll need to also pay for the immigration health surcharge. The current immigration health surcharge is £470, and that's for 12 months, so that's per year. You fill out the application online. At the end of the application, you are then directed to the visa application centre, which is TLS for Turkey. Then you book an appointment to submit your biometrics, which is the next step of the application process and the customer journey. You then submit your biometrics at the visa application centre that you have chosen. So you need to choose a location which will be closest to your address. Please do note some of the visa application centres are not open every day. So please do have a look on the TLS website to see which visa application centre is open. The reason for this is due to the current pandemic situation, and we need to keep the social distancing under control. Therefore, some visa application centres might not be open. So please do have a look on TLS website before you make an appointment, because you are not able to change the location once an appointment has been made. And then you submit your documents online as well. If you use the e-solo process, so you can submit all your documentation online. If you do prefer it to submit it via the visa application centre, then there will be an extra charge. So you need to take your documents with you to your appointment, and then it will be scanned and put onto your application. But again, like I said, you can do this when you do the application, either online or through the e-solo mobile application. So once you have finished your appointment, your biometrics are then submitted, put on the system, and then it's checks and details are undertaken by the UKVI, so us. And then our customer service agreement is 15 working days in which your visa application will be assessed. If for any reason the visa application is not assessed within 15 working days, an email is sent to your email address that you have put on the application system. So it is really important that you put your personal email address onto your application. Sometimes we have students who put the agencies. If that's the case, that's fine. Just make sure that your agent is receiving emails, so you can be updated if there is any latency in your application, or while your application is being assessed, the entry clearance officers might request additional documents. So please always check your email inboxes and also your junk inbox as well. Sometimes emails can fall into that. Again, depending on your application, the category you're applying for, you'll be issued a visa. If it's over, you'll receive a 90-day visa, then you need to go to the UK and pick up your biometric residence permit. This again depends on your type of category, or your visa will be refused. Also, just to remind you, I also advise that you apply as early as possible for your applications, where we did have the priority visa and super priority visa options, but currently due to Turkey being on the red list, the priority and super priority options are currently not available, but you can see on our website when they will be back in service, and that all depends on when Turkey is taken off the red list. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the student route with you as well, just to give you some brief information. And also my colleague is going to put the link on there, so please do have a look on the website. It gives you very detailed information on what the student route is. Sorry, I've lost my page. Okay. Yes, sorry. By the way, I do apologise if you can hear piano music. My neighbour upstairs is playing a piano. Okay, so here is the student route. So the student route, just to give you some basic information, offers you a single and streamlined application process for all students in the world. So this is created for everyone. International students, obviously, so including Turkey, this will be, the students will still need to meet the same academic and language requirements as per usual. Again, the detailed information is on our website. And so regarding the student route, There is a lot of positives in there. For example, students can now apply up to 6 months in advance for this particular route. The main 3 points, obviously there are other points required, but the main ones are you need to have an offer from an improved educational institution, which you can find the list on our website as well. So the approved educational institution. Students are required to speak English. You may need to provide evidence of this, and my colleague might explain that to you later regarding the IELTS examinations. And also you need to provide documentation, which I'm going to go into detail later on, regarding financial side. So students will need to show how they're going to be supported and how they're going to support themselves financially. Okay, so just looking through my notes, I don't miss anything out. Yeah, okay. Yes, I think I've mentioned everything. Okay. Okay, so as you know, we are going through the pandemic situation. This has also affected us, UKVI, operationally. So there have been a few changes within the route, especially to support students in this particular time. There will be flexibility in visa rules, which includes allowing distance in learning. This also does depend on the education authority and the school or university that you're going to in the UK. So I do advise that you find out the exact learning ways they are currently doing. So it could be online, or is it going to be face-to-face? So please do check that with the institution before you make an application. Like I just mentioned, the student route, which has been introduced. Visa vignettes also available, because due to the pandemic, some people have been unable to travel. Therefore, there has been extension in the visa vignettes, because when you go to the UK, you need to pick up your biometric residence permit. This is why you are given a specific time to travel to the UK to be able to pick up the residence permit. So BRP is a shortened version. So this is a change that has been put into place just because of the COVID current situation we're in. Okay, and yeah, so that's fine. Yes, okay. Okay, going on to the next one. So the supporting documents, we do receive a lot of questions regarding documentation that needs to be submitted with an application from students. So what I've tried to do is give you some basic information as much as possible. Again, you'll see the link that my colleague will post up on the chat box to show you some more detailed information of what we advise in regards to documentation that you can provide with your applications. So just looking at the usual one, the current passport, you need to provide a current passport and have empty pages within the passport as well, and has to be valid, of course. You also need to provide the CAS letter. The CAS letter, as you know, is provided by the institution as well. So the CAS letter will need to be submitted within your documents. Other documents that you may require that you can submit. So proof of consent and relationship with parental or either legal guardian. This only is relevant for if the student, you're aged over under 18, sorry, you need to provide this document. Proof of finances. So please do provide documentation regarding how you're going to be supporting yourself financially. If someone else is going to be supporting you financially, then you'll need to provide your relationship with them as well. If you have any educational documents which will be relevant to your application, this includes proof of English, which is the next bullet point. So proof of English could be a document that you could also submit within your documents. ATAS certificate, this is only if required by the course, so please check with the institution if this is the case. You can also find these details on which is accepted, which is not on our website as well. The same goes for the tuberculosis test results. Some are not required in Turkey, but this again depends on the course you are going to. So please have a look on the website for more details. And just to give you just a quick update on the finances, you will all know the 28-day rule. So the particular transaction within the bank statement needs to be in there for 28 days. And what you can also do, as advice I can give, is give maybe some brief explanation regarding some of the funds within the financial documents. Okay. Okay, so just to give you some brief information regarding the funds part. So students must provide evidence that they can pay course fees and living expenses. So what I just mentioned earlier, your financial documents within your application is really important. So please do make sure that every detail there is clear for the officers to be able to understand. And also, as I just mentioned, the 28 consecutive days rule. So, you know, if there is specific funds in there, maybe an extra explanation would be helpful. The current, you know, living expenses that have been advised is £1,334 for each month of the course. This again is for maximum 9 months. You can have a look at the website, which again gives you more details as well. You can also students can prove that they have the money through either cash in the savings account. However, if this is the case, the savings account has to be under your name. So it has to be under the student's name, or it can be in the parent's or legal guardian's name. If in the parent's name, you need to provide supporting documents regarding your relationship with your parents or legal guardian. So that's the savings account part. If there is an unconditional loan taken, if a loan has been taken out for this particular course for the UK, the loan has got to be under the student's name, not anyone else. And also, if there is specific sponsorships or scholarships that the student is going to be using or is going to be funded by, then you need to provide official documentation showing that this is the case and that you'll be financially supported through the government or through a scholarship. Okay, yeah, so we've got the website there. Yes, oh, and also just to mention, just looking through my notes, if you are under 18, so the students under 18 will need to provide written consent from both parents or legal guardians regarding your travel to the UK and travelling for educational purposes. So if you're under 18, you need to provide this consent form. If there is only just one parent, then the one parent will need to state that they have sole responsibility. So when you provide the consent form, if just the one parent, then they'll need to provide the sole responsibility showing that as well. Sorry. Okay, so just to give you some brief information regarding the graduate route. Okay, so yes, the graduate route is for 2 to 3 years based in the UK. This will be taken effective from the 1st of July 2021. Within the graduate route, no sponsorship is required, and within this route there is the option of extending the travel dates. But again, due to the current situation we're in, please double check the website if this is the case. This can vary according to locations as well, so please do have a look on the website. This graduate route is also for those who've got 2 years masters or 3 PhD to work or look for work. You can also within this route look for work at any skill level and switch to skilled worker route. That's obviously when you find the job. And then you can apply with existing leave as a student in the UK. So you can only apply within this route if you are based in the UK. Also, as part of the, yes.
Just to clarify, graduates who will be entitled and do they need to apply? I think you said they need to apply. So students who finish their undergraduate and postgraduate study in the UK, they are entitled to graduate route, but they will have to apply, right? Correct.
So what they'll need to have done, the student will need to have completed the degree already and then apply within country. So whilst in the UK, they can apply for this route.
Okay, and this gives an opportunity for students to stay in the UK, look for a job, and basically work in the UK for 2 to 3 years.
Yes, correct.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, yeah, just checking my notes. Yes, okay, and also due to the coronavirus and the pandemic we're in, students who started their course in autumn 2020 will now need to be in the UK by the 21st of June. So that's been extended from April. They will need to be in the UK by 21st of June 2021, just to add that as well. Okay, and I'll go on to the next slide. Okay, so here's just to give you some brief details of the dates and the eligibility, so what we just talked about as well. So here's the dates you can see on the screen. So if you went in September, October 2020, you'll need to apply by 21st of June. Same with January, February 2021, then you need to be in the UK for 27th of September 2021. Again, more detailed information regarding the dates and your eligibility to apply is on our website. Our website is updated constantly, so please do have a look at the website to give you up-to-date information as well. Okay, I'm just going through my notes. I don't want to miss anything out. So yes, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so I just want to give you some general advice regarding student applications. So students are required to have an offer from an approved educational institution. You'll need to provide documentation regarding this. So if you're going for a short-term course, for example, you'll need to provide a document saying which school you're going to, how long your course is for, and regarding the financial side as well, how much the fee is, have you actually paid for the course fee, take deposit, etc. This will be looked at into detail. So if you can provide as much documentation regarding this, then that will be helpful when assessing your application. Providing proof of English. So you are required to provide some sort of documentation regarding this. And as we've discussed on quite a few times, financial side. So you need to provide financial documents on how you're going to be supporting yourself whilst in the UK, whilst attending the courses and going there for education purposes. And just to give you some brief information on what you should be looking out for when submitting documents, when you're submitting an application, I've got a list here with some risks identified with applications that we've had in the past. So one of them is poor English language ability. If there is extra document that you can provide regarding your ability of speaking the English language, then do provide these documents within your application. Study gaps. If there's been study gaps within your education life, then please do provide some documents or some explanation into why there's been a gap. So please do provide these. Other risks we've noticed and received are false bank statements and forged documents. So, it's quite self-explanatory. Please be careful regarding the documents and bank statements you provide, and please do not provide any false bank statements or any forged documents. Lack of transparency of funding source. So again, looking into detail regarding the financial side about supporting yourselves in the UK financially. Try to be more clear within transactions. If you've got large transactions within bank statements, an explanation will be helpful. So maybe an extra letter explaining these types of funds, where these funds are coming from. If it's a parents, then how they've received it, etc. If you could be more open regarding this, then that would be helpful within assessment of your application. Bank loans, duplicate loans and unverified bank statements. So again, this falls into the transactions, and also if a loan has been taken out, like I said, the loan has to be under the student, so the applicant's name. So if you could also make sure this has been explained in detail, that would be very helpful. Credibility of applications, as we've also discussed, also providing information into why you're going to the UK, how this is going to support you when you return back to Turkey. Is it going to be helping you with your career life? If you could provide some explanations into why you're going to the UK, why you're taking the English language course, for example, then that will be helpful as well. Another risk identified is non-disclosure of travel history and other facts. So when you fill out the visa application form, you are asked your travel history. So please write down where you've been, if you've been refused a visa before, if you've been approved a visa before, Schengen or other countries. Please write all the details within the application form, which will be very helpful. Okay, some more details and more advice again for student applications. We do receive some questions regarding interviews. Some interviews do take place for applications, not as much as we used to, but interviews are still there, so you may be called for an interview. But I just wanted to let you know that interviews are not there to catch out students out. It's actually quite the opposite. We're trying to get some more information out from you, and this gives you an opportunity to be more clear regarding your documentation, regarding your intention of going to the UK. So if you are called for an interview, then please prepare and give as much information as you can by answering the questions you are asked. Okay. Yep, as I've just mentioned, be prepared. So questions you might receive is why you have chosen that particular university and not another one, why you have chosen this particular course, why you're going to the UK, so why UK and not any other country, and what are your career ambitions? How is this English language course going to help you within your career? What are the benefits going to be? So please be prepared if you are called for an interview with all information that you can give, which will assist within the assessment of your application. And also more questions may be asked regarding universities, but then universities here offer support as well. So this can be another reason why you've been called for an interview. But as I've mentioned, it's not to catch you out, it's actually to give you an opportunity to give us more information when assessing your application. I know that some people who apply for, well, start the application process can be quite scared or quite worried. Please don't be. You know, we try to make it as simple as possible. So please answer questions in detail and by telling us the truth. So, you know, we've tried to put a lot of information on our website as well to actually guide you through the application process. So please do have a look on the website. And, you know, we're trying to be equal for everyone. That's the whole idea of the application and for the student visas. And that's why there's been routes coming into place as well. Being as flexible as possible. And also think of the student visas as leading more opportunities. So our website, as I said, has always been updated. So please do have a look. And my colleagues shared into the chat box the websites as well. Please do have a look at them, read through them. It'll give you an idea before you start your application as well, so it will be very helpful. Okay, that is the end of this presentation. Just before I close and go on to the questions and Q&A part, I just want to give you just a brief information regarding the current situation. So my colleague will now provide you with a link as well. So as you're all probably aware, Turkey has now been put on the red list for arrivals into the UK. This, of course, will affect applications taking place. So visit visas, you know, all visas are currently being assessed. However, the visit visas, applicants will not receive the outcome of the visa until Turkey has been lifted. So until Turkey has been taken off the red list, visit visa categories will not receive their outcome. With students, so the 6 to 11 months or the normal student visa route, applications are continuing to take place. Unfortunately, there is no priority visa available due to Turkey being on the red list. Applications are assessed. If excuse me, if your application has been issued, then you can travel to the UK, but when you arrive in the UK, you will need to still quarantine in a hotel, in a state quarantine hotel. Sorry, 1 second. So yes, when you arrive into UK, you are expected to quarantine in 10 days in a state quarantine hotel. Before you leave Turkey, before you start traveling, you will need to fill out the passenger locator form, which is available on our website. It is a requirement, and you will need to provide evidence of you filling out the form when you are checking in at the airport. With the passenger locator form, you can fill this out 48 hours before travel. Within the form, you will need to put down details of the state quarantine hotel. You'll see the list on the website when you fill out the form in which hotel you'll be staying. Because it's state quarantine, it's mandatory. So please bear that in mind when please bear that in mind when making an application. And again, if your application has been issued, then you are expected to do a state quarantine upon arrival in the UK, because Turkey is on the red list. Okay.
Thank you, Alper. We have quite a good number of questions.
Okay.
Be ready. I think we need Sue's help as well. Let's start with first question. It is, I think, to do with Brexit. I am a Spanish and a Swiss citizen. Do I still need to apply for a UK visa? A student asked. Did you hear me? Alper, you put yourself on mute.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I think it's working now. Sorry, Sarah, I didn't hear the question.
You couldn't. Okay, let me repeat. I'm a Spanish and a Swiss citizen. Do I still need to apply for a UK visa?
If there was, sorry?
I am a Spanish and a Swiss citizen. Do I still need to apply for a UK visa? EU student, basically.
Yes. Sue, are you able to answer that if possible? I don't want to give the incorrect information, so.
To be honest, Alper, I think this has all been a transition thing for the Brexit thing. I would have to look it up. I mean, I'm just going to look now, see if I can find where the link is and pass that forward, because again, I don't want to give that wrong information, because obviously here in Istanbul, we're dealing with the standard visa nationals who would need a visa to normally travel anyway. So this is all very new for us. So just bear with me. I'll have a little tap about that and come back to you.
We'll carry on with the next question while you look at the answers too.
Sorry.
No problem. I hope you are okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. I'm planning to apply for master's programs in UK, but I have 2 kids, 8 years old twins. May I bring them with me to the UK while making my master's? So bringing dependents in the UK. Yeah,
I was just going to say, yes, so dependent, yes. So they need to look at the dependent category according to what they're applying for, because the dependent category will be different from other categories as well. So what the main applicant is applying for, they will need to check the dependent side of that particular category as well. So I do advise them to check the website in that particular category they're applying for, and they will see a list of the dependent side, so probably child dependents as well, to have a look on the website and definitely apply for the correct category, not the incorrect one.
Yes, wanted to add here, for any dependents, you will also need to prove your financially you can support them. There's a standard amount of money that you will need to allocate for each dependent, basically. Am I right, Alper?
Yeah, I think Sue was just saying something as well.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, yes, I was going to say the same thing, that if you're doing a master's or above, you can apply for your dependents to go with you, but there's an added financial requirement to show that you can maintain and accommodate them. So it's just the figures that were in Alpa's presentation were based on a single person going. So that will arise, as will the health surcharge as well. Per person will have to pay an additional amount of money. So yeah, check on the website how much that would be.
Thank you, Sue. Shall I move on to the next question?
Yes, you can.
Okay, this is regarding IELTS. Basically, I would like to do my master's degree in the UK. Do I need to take the IELTS academic exam or the IELTS academic UKVI exam? We have two different probably, I mean not different, but let's get two answers from each part, British Council and Alper UKVI basically. Shall we start with Alper?
I think maybe Senna to start with this particular one, and I'll add on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I can explain the difference first. IELTS and IELTS for UKV are the same in terms of format, content, scoring, and level of difficulty. However, the test report form, which contains the results, is slightly different to show the candidates have taken the test at an official IELTS for UKVI location, which is approved by the UK Home Office. But every organization sets its own entry requirements. In some cases, both versions of IELTS may be accepted. Therefore, we strongly advise the candidates to check the organization they wish to apply to before they book their test.
Thanks, Sena. Alper, anything to add on?
I was going to say the same thing. Definitely the students and the candidates all need to check with the education authority, the school or university they are going to be attending, to see which particular IELTS they accept. So academic academic or IELTS for UKVI. So yes, definitely check with the schools.
Thank you. Next question. My son is an EU student. He got acceptance from the UK university, now living with his mother in Turkey, and he will be graduated from Turkish high school. Does he need a student visa? If yes, could you briefly explain the process? Thanks in advance. I think Sue is looking into this, so we'll cover this later on.
Yeah, I'm just going to add a link to the chat box about that.
Okay, great. Another Brexit-related question: has Brexit affected application process for EU students in any way? I think the link Sue shared will explain the situation. What are visa vignettes? Maybe I'm not perfectly pronouncing it. Sorry. So what are visa vignettes again, and how do they fit into the process? Alper.
So probably from what I spoke about earlier, in what the risks are that we've identified, you could count them as weaknesses, but I can give you some information on why some visas are refused. So this could be mainly financial side, if that's what the candidate, I think that's what they're asking. Or
no. What are visa vignettes? The visa that you print, basically.
Yes, the visa vignette. Sorry.
Yes, my pronunciation.
Okay. No, it's fine. The visa vignettes will depend.
Yeah.
So the visa vignettes will depend on the category they're applying for. So what the visa vignette is, obviously the actual visa sticker that goes into your passport. And depends on the category you're applying for, you'll be given a specific transition date. So if you have a course which is over 6 months, or you're part of the student visa route, then you'll be given a 90-day period to travel to the UK and then collect your biometric residence permit. If it's normal student category, then you're given the 6 months validity on there. So that's what the vignettes are.
Basically, it's the sticker itself that put on the passport, proving that you have a visa. Yes. But of course, it explains what type of visa you are on and for how long. Yes. For student visitor visa, if the student is happy with hotel quarantine, may we submit application while we are in red list? Will visa application be considered in normal visa application process period, 15 working days, meaning that? Will visa be printed unless we are still in red list, or will the application rejected directly? May we send additional document for student visitor visa while the application is being considered. I think this may sound a bit complicated. I can, read again if you like.
No, it's okay. I've
Yeah.
understood the question, and Sue, please, elaborate if possible, if needed. So all applications, not just student, all applications will be assessed. Only the visit visas, if once they've been assessed, the outcome will not be shared with the applicant until Turkey have been taken off the red list. For the student side, so the student applications, they will be assessed as normal. If they refuse, they will be refused according to the requirements and our normal rules and regulations for the visa applications. If the student ones are issued, the outcome will be sent to the applicant. However, they are expected to quarantine in the UK, so they need to be made aware of that. They may also receive an email from UKVI asking for further information on why they are currently going during this particular situation. So they may receive an email providing extra documents.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I just add in as well? Because the short-term student visas now comes under that visitor category, which is quite a new thing, then all visit visas with the instruction is that they are kept on hold. So that's for all red list countries, not just Turkey, but all countries on the red list. So we can't do anything with them. They'll be kept on hold. The decision will be made, the assessment will be made, as Arthur says, but you won't get the decision until Turkey comes off the red list.
Thank you. Next question. If the student already traveled to UK in September 2021 and received BRP, but came back to Turkey and attended classes online, does she have to go back to UK until 21st of June in order to be eligible for graduate route visa?
So for the graduate route, the student will need to be based in the UK, yes, to be eligible for that particular route. They have to be based in the UK.
And the time of the year is a bit confusing. Are we talking about, next academic year or this academic year? This is a bit confusing. But currently, yes, students, some of the students had to, do their online training in Turkey. They are given an option to travel to UK until the 21st of June to be eligible for to apply for their graduate route, basically. So that's the current situation. For the next academic year, if the things change and, if there's any COVID-19 related postponement or, traveling restriction, the dates will be announced. This is updated a couple of times. Originally it was April, but then under the situation, it was extended to June. So currently that's the situation. If things develop again as same as this year, the dates and regulations will be announced accordingly. Can you talk about the quarantine process when arriving to UK? Okay,
so as I mentioned, Turkey has been put on the red list by the UK. This has all been assessed by the Department for Transport. If there is travel to the UK, the passenger or the person that's travelling will be required to do state quarantine. The state quarantine will be identified when filling out the passenger locator form. Within the form, there is a link that the passenger will need to click on to make a booking and to look at which, depending on the airport they'll be arriving at, they'll be given a state quarantine accordingly. But yes, at the moment, it is a 10-day state quarantine taking place in the UK from arrivals within countries in the red list, which is currently including Turkey.
Can I just say that I think Zainab added the link about the more details about the red, amber and green lists and what to do and how to travel. So if Turkey does move from red to amber, there may still be some quarantine requirement that will be different. So I think people who are wanting to travel need to make sure that they check that link that's there and keep themselves updated, because obviously things change quite quickly, and I think the next review is coming up soon, maybe the 1st of June, I think. So to just keep checking where they are on that list.
Thank you, Sue. Can we stay in the UK whilst waiting for an answer for our application for the graduate route, or do we have to leave the country and come back once we have been issued the graduate route visa?
As far as I know, they do need to be in UK and wait. Obviously, if there's validity still within their current visa. No, hold on. Yes, they do need to be in the UK as far as I know. Maybe we need to double check that. So rules keep changing for the graduate route. Zeynep, if you can take a note of that question, we'll get back to Semra accordingly. Okay, yeah, we'll share the let's do the FAQ and share with the with all registered attendees. Sure. We will receive another question. We will receive transcript from school on 28th of June. So when will I start 28 days for the money, and when to apply for visa latest? Course will start on 27th September. So they are receiving their transcript on the 28th of June. I'm not sure if there's a correlation between, receiving transcript and proving or depositing your, money in a bank account. So when will the inquirer asked, when will I start 28 days for the money and when to apply for visa latest? So regarding the application, applicants can apply up to 3 months in advance for the visa. So that will not be a problem as long as it's within the 3 months, then it's not a problem. However, for the funding, yes, the 28-day rule is in place. So they will need to make sure, the transactions within the bank statements does meet the 28-day consecutive day rule. That's something that the applicant will need to work out date-wise.
Can I just say it's the 28 days prior to application, the application date. So they can apply in advance. I think it's up to 6 months actually, Arthur, isn't it, rather than 3 months for the students now, before they're travelling. But for the funds, they'll need to show it for the 28 days prior to the date of application. Transcript,
receiving a transcript is not an issue to postpone your application. You can still apply for your visa.
Sorry, I thought you were just carrying on from the last question about the transcript and having to have that at the time of the application. Depending on where you apply from, and usually, if that's the requirement to be accepted on the course, you'd have to show that. So you would have to wait to get your certificate to show that. Not always the case, it depends what you're doing, but often we would be required to see that as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you. If all our money in deposit or funds since July 2020 until August 2021 in a Turkish bank and cannot be used before end of August and will be fully usable after end of August, and bank still gives a report shows that amount is really guaranteed and excessive, will it be valid for the university visa application? It is in my wife's bank account. So the money is in the deposit account since July 2020, basically.
Okay, the money should be available for those 28 days. So it should be, they can have that in the 28 days. Also, if it's in a wife's name, that's not acceptable unless it's a joint account in both names.
Okay, thank you. How long does the student visa last for? 6 months, 1 year, maybe. So we talk about 2 visas, actually. Maybe Alper, you can remind the visa, duration of the visas.
So it depends on the category the applicant is applying for and how long their course is in the UK. So, as we mentioned, visit visa obviously is now available. But again, it depends on how long the applicant is going to the UK for. So they'll need to apply the category according to that. So when they go into the website where it says apply for visa, and then it tells you which type of visa, they will need to be specific in that particular question, saying how long your course is for, and then it will tell you which category you need to apply for.
Okay. But for example, if it's an undergraduate program, the initial visa they will receive is 1 year, or all, duration of their study.
Yeah, it'll be the duration of the study. The vignette, the sticker in the passport, will only be valid for 90 days, but the actual issue is a period of the course that's actually on the CAS letter that the university or the college issue. They'll have the dates of the course, and so the actual permission to stay will be for the full duration of that course according to what's on that CAS letter. So the rest of the validity of their stay will actually come with a BRP that they will collect once they've arrived in the UK.
Okay, that's all clear. Thank you. Should the bank account be on the name of the students? We answered this, but maybe you can repeat, Alper.
So only if the parent is going to be financially supporting them, they need to show the relationship with the applicant and the parents. If it's a loan, however, the loan will need to be under the applicant's name only.
Okay. Another question. We have around 10 questions, by the way. You said that we may need a test. Are there any other vaccines or tests that we need? I think you mentioned about tuberculosis test or something like that, Alper, in your presentation.
If it's that test, it's not currently required for Turkey, but they will need to check again with the university and the country they're applying for. But I don't know if they're talking about the COVID test. I'm not sure. Then that's different.
Yeah, I just said that with the TB test, it depends where they've been living for the 6 months prior to applying. So it's not just on your nationality, it's where you've been living. So if you've been living in a country that's on the TB list, regardless of your nationality, you would need to have a certificate. But if you've been living in Turkey, regardless of your nationality, you don't need a TB certificate if you've been living in Turkey. So it depends where you've been living for the TB test. But as Arthur was saying, currently that's the only test that you require. That may change. I think as a lot of countries are now sort of asking for COVID passports and what have you, that may change in due course. But for now, only the TB certificate will be required for the visa application, depending on where you've lived.
Let's carry on. If condition will be same in September, will the university students still be in 10 days quarantine and where in dormitories in the campus, basically? This changes, but Alper, it really depends on the situation.
It changes all the time, and as we mentioned, the next update might be on the 1st of June. Whether we still are on the red list, we go to amber. I can't say anything for September at the moment. They will need to keep following the website to see, the circumstances at that time. We can't say what will be happening in September regarding quarantine, COVID, etc. So they should keep checking the website before they make an application.
Yes, you need to keep a close eye on the website, basically. What is the optimal time to apply for a student visa? Earlier, optimal time. Basically, there is a busy period coming up, so the earliest the better. But Alper, what would you say?
No, I was just going to say the exact same. Earlier the better. I mean, we aim to always assess the application within 15 working days. If it's not assessed within 15 working days, then an email is sent to the applicant regarding this. But yes, our aim is to do 15 working days, but I definitely do advise students to apply as early as possible. Yes.
I'm sorry. How to calculate the amount to leave in the account for 28 days tuition and tuition and accommodation fees plus there's an amount written, but I'll leave it to you to clarify. We shouldn't confuse the audience. Basically, yes, tuition and living costs per month or without living costs. Living costs. There is a calculation on the website, but Alper, could you please clarify?
Yep. So as I mentioned in the presentation as well, for the rate given, which is maximum 9 months, is £1,334 expense wise. Regarding the calculation, I'm not quite sure. Maybe to have a look on the website and to see how it could be calculated. But for the information that I have and that I presented was the allowance that has been put into place.
I have some information, but I don't want to confuse because things change. So let's leave it to Sue, or if colleagues can share the relevant link. If you already pay your tuition fee, you deduct. But for the living cost, basically, if you pay your accommodation, you can reduce, you can deduct some of the amount, not all. But you still need to prove that you have the certain, living cost as in the calculation. But Zeynep, if Zeynep can share the link, that will be useful.
I mean, because we can't specifically say you need to show this amount of money to show that this is how much you'll be spending. So we can't really give an exact amount. That's why I was saying, what the allowance has been given states-wise. In regards to the other expenses, then that's kind of more with research needs to take place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, is only IELTS accepted, or are there any other alternative English proficiency exams? I can answer this. Universities accept other proficiency tests as well. Please go to their website and check what other exams are accepted. It could be, TOEFL, and universities have added some other additional tests. But it's always good to check their own website to see the requirements. Well, I think it's the same question. Can you please explain how we can provide evidence for the source of the money we show in our bank statement? Does an employment letter suffice?
Employment letter, if they're working, they can add it on there. Yes. Regarding the financial side, as much information as possible. So if they put any bank statements, then explanation into some of the transactions would be useful. Again, the 28-day consecutive rule is obviously in place. But yes, regarding explanation, just to explain maybe on a separate letter in detail what that particular transaction is, especially for large sums as well. So if there's a large sum within the transaction, then an explanation of that would be useful. Yes.
Yes, if they receive, if you receive the support from your family members and the money transferred to your bank account, then you will need to also submit the source of your financial statement, who gave that money to you. Basically, it's always useful as much as put any information that will be helpful for the officers to review your application. We have 5 more questions, and then hopefully we'll finish the session. Well, hello, what is the short-term student visa? This is for the short-term studies, like certificate or English language courses. If you are doing a master's or undergraduate programs, you will need to take student route visa. Am I right?
Student visa. Yeah.
Student visa. Short-term visas are more for language courses, short-term basically courses, shorter than a year courses, basically, usually up to 6 months, depending on the language courses, duration of the language courses. It can be up to 11 months, as far as I remember.
Right.
Do EU students need to apply for a student visa? We added a link for that. The rules change, but our clearance office, our colleagues in Turkey only deal with the Turkish students' visas. Therefore, we cannot really answer this question. You can find the relevant link and read that actually information. Can the financial documents be in dollars instead of pounds? Alper?
The bank statements, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yes, they can be, as long as, no, maybe Sue, if you want to explain that a bit more, but...
The bank statements can be in any currency. Yeah. But you have to check the rate of exchange at the date of application, because that's the rate of exchange we will use. So if the equivalent on the date of application is correct for the pounds, then that would be okay. So they just need to check on the date of application what the exchange rate is. But yeah, it might be an idea if they have. Sometimes people have accounts in several currencies, just to make it easier for an assessment. Maybe just suggest that they highlight the different currencies so that it's easy to note which one. It makes it very difficult for the entry clearance office to work it all out. But any help that they can sort of offer when they're presenting their documents, just to highlight which currency it is, will just make the assessment a bit easier.
Maybe it will be useful to, say, because of the currency fluctuation in Turkey, it's always, I think, to be safer to, save some or put more money than what's required to be on the safe side. But it is in foreign currency, you should be fine. As Sue explained, you will need to make sure that, the money is allocated as explained in the regulations. If student has residency visa under Ankara Anlaşması, does she still need a student visa? That's our final question.
So you're talking about someone who's already in the UK with a ECA visa? Yeah. Well, then they'd have to switch. You can't. You're either there running a business under that category, or you're doing as a student. So you'd probably, I think if you're already there as under ECAA, there's nothing to stop you doing some other courses, but your primary reason for being there should be that you're establishing a business. So it would be a difficult. I think if you're already there in the UK, you'd have to decide whether you wanted to switch your status to that.
This is why it's really important that when students make an application that they apply under the correct category. So it's really important that they fill out the first 3 questions when it says which type of visa, to put down the reason they're going to the UK so they don't apply for the wrong category. So it's really important that students do research on the main intention and reasons they're going to the UK so they can apply for the correct category.
One final question and then we'll finish. How long is taking right now on average to get an appointment to drop off your biometrics?
There is appointment slots available every day. Obviously, there's now reduced number of allocation available due to social distancing within the actual centre. But at the moment, it is currently open. If there is one day that's not available, then they can check for the rest of the week. But it depends on the location they're applying from, because some of them are not open every day. None of them open every day, sorry. So they need to check which particular days are available.
Thank you, Alper and Sue, Zeynep. It's been very useful. The high season is fast approaching. Just to emphasize, please apply as early as possible, because all applications, especially long-term visas, go to UK. So you'll be in a kind of pool where other students apply around the world. So the earliest the better. That's our, I think, final reminder for everyone. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. I hope this has been useful. And once again, Zeynep, Alper and Sue, thank you for your time. Of course, Sena, how can I forget you? Thank you for your time and the information about IELTS exams. Maybe Sena, just one final word, like we resumed IELTS exams before closing the session. Maybe you can just mention the sessions available and how they can book, if anything critical that you would like to share with the audience, what they need to do.
Sure. We delivered the test in Istanbul, Ankara, and Izmir in Turkey at the moment, the UKVI sessions. And the test fee is currently 1,600 Turkish lira. It is possible to take the test on computer or on pen and paper. We have quite frequent sessions if you choose to take the test on computer, and twice a month we have on paper UKVI sessions. That's all I can say, actually.
So when do they need to register for an exam? Is there a kind of critical time, like for example, can I register for an exam 3 days before the actual exam?
Is actually now we have a limited number of seats due to COVID precautions. Mm-hmm. For this reason, it's better if they book the test earlier. But if there's still available test for the computer delivered, they can book till last 3 days. Mm-hmm. Just 3 days before the test. Mm-hmm. But as I said, most of the time we don't have available seats whenever the test date is close. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all. If they have any questions, I will write here the email address so they can send an email to us.
Okay, great. Do that, please. Okay, well, sorry I kept you while asking Sena questions. Okay, thank you very much for today, our listeners and also our speakers. I hope you found the session useful. If you have any questions, I sent an email to you, so you can always contact us through that email, so the UK email addresses. Bye for now, and see you in the next session today or later this week.